morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got more information about the upcoming Japanese set. Now, one of the cool things we have here, of course, is we have the booster pack artwork. S5I and S5R, which again shouldn't be terribly surprising to you lovely ladies and gentlemen, because remember I told you that they were Ichigeki and Rengeki, so you would of course have S5I and S5R. That makes perfect sense. They are essentially your two sets. And one of them features Rapid Strike Urshifu, and one of them features Single Strike Urshifu, both in their Gigantamax forms. Well, gee whiz! Probably couldn't have seen that coming. And the good news is, it has confirmed the basic information we knew yesterday. There are exactly 70 cards plus secret rares in each of the collections, and it is being released on the 22nd of January. Now, I don't intend to just repeat everything I said in yesterday's video. You can go check that video out, I'll link it in the description. But the general points were that 70 cards per pack is quite a lot, honestly. More than we would usually expect. For comparison, the last double set we got was Sword and Shield, which had 60 cards per pack, or for each of the two sets, plus secret rares. Now, it is also worth pointing out it is a double set, so like we said in yesterday's video, that means that some cards will be in S5R and some cards will be in S5I, and never the twain shall meet. That is to say, you've got to buy that specific set to get the cards you want. We also didn't have exact confirmation yesterday that this was Sword and Shield 5. We were like 99.9% sure, but it's nice to have that confirmation. And similarly, the release date of the 22nd of January is unusual. It basically means that we actually get a 3-month period where October, no Japanese set. November, Shiny Star V, that's the really exciting one that's got those shiny Pokemon in. We assume that the shiny Charizard, which is in Champion's Path, is one of the ones that's going to be in there. So that will give you an idea of the kind of shiny Pokemon you're getting in Shiny Star V. And then in December, there is no new set, and this is being pumped out in January. Of course, Sword and Shield did actually come out on the 6th of December, but then again, it is also worth bearing in mind that with Shiny Star V coming on the 20th of November, the only way to get another card set out would be to completely just pile it on top of Shiny Star V, and given that that set has 190 cards plus secret rares, that would be not a great idea. But the great thing is that the lovely Antoine Boulet has gone and furnished us with some new information. Each box, that is, each box of booster packs, 24 packs in Japan, will contain one Single Strike Pokemon V or Rapid Strike Pokemon V, depending on the subset you're buying, as well as a Single Strike or Rapid Strike exchange ticket. The exchange ticket will come into play in March when buying 10 packs of the March set. We have no confirmation about the March set. Does that also mean that there's no set in February? So we're literally getting 2 Japanese sets in the space of 5 months? Dunno is the honest answer. It might just be that February is a mini set and they want to save it for their next main set, which would also make a lot of sense. You can trade your exchange ticket for a corresponding Single Strike or Rapid Strike V Max card. Oh, well, that's kind of weird. Essentially, in each box, you get a guaranteed Single Strike Pokemon V or Rapid Strike Pokemon V, depending on which of the 2 boxes you're buying. And then you get an exchange ticket that will 2 months later give you the corresponding V Max card when you buy 10 packs of the March set. Now, this is a very, very strange way to actually go about distributing these cards. You buy a box to get the Rapid Strike Pokemon V or Single Strike Pokemon V in January. You also get a ticket, which 2 months later you can exchange for the corresponding VMAX when you buy 10 packs of a new set. Bearing in mind the packs in Japan are quite a lot cheaper. You're not talking like $40 like you would be in the US. You're talking, honestly, nearer like $10, $15. So, The question then becomes, wait a second, what are Rapid Strike and Single Strike Pokemon V? Now, the reference we have is to Single Strike Pokemon V or Rapid Strike Pokemon V, not Single Strike or Rapid Strike Urshifu. Now, we assume that the ones they are referring to in these sets are Urshifu V, let's be clear. We are assuming that they are Urshifu V for the time being, but we are not told they are limited to Urshifu V. So there is, certainly as far as I'm concerned, a fairly heavy hint that this is a new type of Pokemon V like we talked about yesterday. Now, I need to give a shout out to the lovely Alpha Tyrant TCG here, who's been spending a bit of time on Twitter, etc., talking to Japanese players, and essentially said that Japanese players are saying that these new Urshifu cards could work similarly to the ancient traits we saw in X and Y. Now, I know some of you were playing back then, but I'm sure some of you weren't. The ancient trait, I'm going to use Excadrill as an example because I love him. Excadrill had the ancient trait Omega Barrage, not an ability, something separate, basically an ability but not called that. And Omega Barrage basically said you could attack twice at the end of your turn, which was kind of cool. We also saw things like Primal Groudon that had Omega Barrier, which said it couldn't be affected by supporter cards. I mean, at the time, it basically meant that Lysander couldn't drag it up into the active, and Team Flare Grunt couldn't get rid of the energy on it, etc. But these were standard kind of abilities. So there were multiple Pokemon that had Omega Barrier. Regirock was another one. I adored that card. And multiple Pokemon that had Omega Barrage. And essentially you would have a set number of ancient traits, and then multiple Pokemon could have the same ancient trait. That's what we are seeing an assumption of at the moment. I don't know that we've got enough to say that for definite. Although for what we do have, it certainly would make sense that that would be the case. Now, I told you there were also going to be some premium trainer boxes yesterday featuring Urshifu V. And also featuring these new Pokemon V that we were a little bit confused about. And it seems like each of the premium trainer boxes, both of them, will give you either a Rapid Strike Pokemon V or a Single Strike Pokemon V featuring Urshifu, but they will have different art and effects from the ones obtainable in the main sets. I.e., there are 4 Urshifu V coming in the not too distant future, and then there are 2 Urshifu V Max as well. Remember, we've been told that the Single Strike and Rapid Strike Urshifu V coming in Sword and Shield 5 will be able to get the corresponding V Max with this weird exchange. We have not been told the same thing about the Urshifu V from the premium trainer boxes. But we do know that you're getting Urshifu V in both ways, and we do know that they will have different art and effects. Now, of course, that shouldn't be terribly surprising, because if we look at the decks that are dominating around at the moment, we got stuff like Eternatus, and Pokemon do like giving out counter cards to some of the best decks. So with Eternatus turning around being a really good deck, having these strong fighting Pokemon shouldn't be terribly surprising. Though it should be pointed out, we've not had it confirmed that these will be fighting Pokemon. They could be water and darkness. And that's what we know for the time being. We know the release date, and we know the number of cards, and we know that they will be featuring Urshifu, and we know that Rapid Strike and Single Strike Pokemon V are a thing. We do not know, I don't believe at least, that they are going to be taken beyond Urshifu, though it seems to me like they will be, and we don't know exactly what they mean, but if enough people are suggesting they're going to be like the old style ancient traits, I think it is probably a decent suggestion that that might end up being true. Either way, I cannot be the only one that's hyped about this. I am genuinely a little bit sad. I might be starting to try and buy a box of every Japanese set as it comes out. But of course, if I buy a box of these, I'll get my exchange ticket and not be able to exchange it unless I get the box mailed and then mail off the exchange ticket to Antoine or somebody to go and get me the V Max. Antoine, if you're listening, I don't know. I'll cover the cost of the packs, you keep the packs and send me the V Max. What do you reckon? Could be fun. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to get excited about. It really looks like Sword and Shield 5 is going to be knocking things up a notch and really becoming kind of awesome. And I, for one, am delighted. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.